without pity and without mercy. They're my enemies. I don't even ask you to look at what they do to me. You go and see what they did to Martin Luther King. I mean, you say you love King and you still want me to. I love King. What about the FBI? Well, I think they're doing a good job. You don't know nothing about King. Matter of fact, most people don't know nothing about King. Most of us have never read 2 books that King wrote himself. Most of us. All we know about King is what the television tells us about King. That's why we think that one of his best speeches is I Have a Dream. If you knew King, you'd be reading Why I Opposed the War in Vietnam, making sure everybody knows. And you would make sure everybody knows the speech, so we don't even know King. You understand? We don't study, but we must if we want to free our people. And we will because we don't free our people. When the FBI was destroying the movement because our movement was not organized in the 60s, it was a spontaneous movement, which it is to this day. Our movement has not been transformed to an organized movement. And those of us who are serious revolutions, this is where we have been gearing our energies since the 60s to transforming this spontaneous movement to an organized movement. Because we know we can win. I mean, if you look at the Watts Rebellion in 1965, you understand? This rebellion was spontaneous. The Africans didn't plan it. One night, the police beat one brother. It was one too much. Everybody decided at the same time, at the same night, let's get them. I mean, they rose up, Jack, and they pushed the police, backed them up against the wall, stopped the National Guard. And these Africans didn't plan it. They just did it spontaneously. Do you know what we will do when we properly plan it? When we properly organize? It's we who want revolution, want planning. And you can't plan unless you are organized. Because our people are still unorganized. And the enemy knows this. When the movement of the 60s came, he said, wow, they're that wild. I said, just step back, leave them alone. It's spontaneous, it'll spin out. And once it spin out, he came back with his guns and his boots to push us further back than where we came out of. That's the laws of struggle. That's the laws of struggle. And of course, the enemy will try to bring confusion. And one of the confusion they tried to bring here was they came with a thing called gay and lesbian liberation. Now we are the All-African People's Revolutionary Party. You understand? So we watched the development, we saw where it came from, we looked at it, we kept our distance from it. After a while, everybody was involved in it. The Communist Party was involved in it, the Socialist Party was supporting it, Jesse Jackson was speaking before them. I mean, everybody, understand? We kept our distance. By the early 70s, they really had some power, and they had everybody in their line, so they demanded to have a meeting with us. We don't mind meeting with them. We're not in no fight with them. I'm a revolutionary. I don't fight nobody who ain't got power. Me, I'm fighting for political power. If you ain't got it, I'm not going to waste my time with you. The bullets I got is for those who got power, so once I take them out, I can take some power. So I don't fight nobody who ain't got no power. So that's a waste of time. If you look at our party, we're attacked by just about everybody. We don't waste. What are you attacking for? He ain't got it. If he thinks you got power, let him attack you. We ain't got no power, and he ain't got none, so don't waste time attacking him. So I know those people who came, they didn't have no power, they came to attack us, It just, everybody's supporting gay liberation movement except your party. So that's right. You say you're a revolutionary party, we most certainly are. And all the other revolutionary parties, the Communist Party, the Socialist Party, all the revolutionary parties supported. Your party is not. I said, that's correct. Well, you're not supported. Why? I said, we know why. We didn't give a chance. They started just invectives against us. Macho, this, that. Oh, they talked all sorts. We let them talk. There's one thing about King we understand is that you can be nonviolent, especially with those who ain't got power. So we nonviolent with them. It don't cost nothing, you understand? The Quran says a smile can stop a war. And the Bible says a gentle word can turn away wrath. You understand? So we know they're not our enemy. Even if they think we're the enemy, we know they're not the enemy. Ain't no need to let them go have false solutions. So after they finished, we told them, listen, we are the All-African People's Revolutionary Party. We examine everything we do from the basis of our people's culture. Nowhere else. That's the basis of our struggle. We know that the problem of homosexuality and intolerance of homosexuality is a serious problem in the white community. But in the African community, we are not intolerant to homosexuality. You will go throughout our community. You will find no intolerance to it. And there are homosexuals throughout our communities. We are quite tolerant, so we don't have this problem. Like I told them, you don't know nothing about our history. Even Malcolm X was praising James Baldwin, so you better get out of the way if you try to bring confusion in our community. We know our culture. We're not saying that you may not find somebody bashing in the head of a homosexual here or there, but that's isolated incident. It's not the dominant aspect of our culture. And we have enough problems. Don't you come and give us problems where they don't exist. You do have a problem in the European community with the intolerant aspect of homosexuality, yes. But everyone knows the cultural basis of Africa has always been dominantly tolerant. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons we're in the position we find ourselves in today. So, from your culture, you don't get confused. Your culture, you know. I'll give you one other example of this aspect of our cultural basis now. You know, Africa produced the first queens in the world. The first queens in the world were produced by Africa. And these were not play queens. They were queens with full power. I mean, you got to find European imperialism everywhere, in television and movies, on commercials. I mean, you know, these plays would actually go and bring up a Cleopatra, and make Elizabeth Taylor play the part. And make it appear as if she came from Greece. If you take a look at Greek and their great democracy and the highest spirit of their life, you will find two groups who oppressed there, women and slaves. As a matter of fact, when you read Greek history, you don't find no woman's name up in there unless they put her as a god, made her a pedestal, and got her out the way. Otherwise, you don't see it. But Africa's history, you will read women everywhere. First queens of the world came from Africa. And not only that, Henry Clark, he shows us that whenever a queen was on the throne and there was an invasion in Africa, there was no compromise at all. Well, brother was on the throne. But we're talking about sisters. Anyway, we said that Africa gave the first queens to the world, and if you will look at African women today, you will see they're oppressed even by their men. I mean, the level of oppression by their men is from the physical to the ideological. On every level, they're oppressed. On every level. But the one place men cannot oppress African women is on the front lines fighting for African men. If you know nothing about our history, you will know the names of our great heroes who fought for us. If you know nothing about African history, you will know the name of Nzinga. You'll have heard of Yahya Santue. You'll have heard of Harriet Tubman. You will know of Sojourner Truth. You will know of Rosa Parks. You will know of Fannie Lou Hamer. You will know of Gloria Richardson. You will know of Uduri Doris Smith Robinson. You will know of Angela Davis. You will know of Santa Shampoo. Everywhere we fight. Because if you will look at our history, you will see that our women have played a particular role in our struggle for our liberation. Even though oppressed by us, they're on the front lines fighting for us. Thus, based on our culture, our relationship to our women is entirely different from others. I mean, it makes it easier for me as a brother to bring brothers to their senses. Look, brother, we sit on these sisters, and even while sitting on them, they fighting the enemy. You understand? All we gotta do is get up, sit back down, leave them by themselves. They take care of the enemy for us. You understand? Here, from your own culture, you can begin clearly to use your culture to advance your struggle for liberation. This is why we as a people must look at our culture. And we must come to know our culture. And the first thing we know is not only is our culture different from American capitalist culture, it is in total conflict with it all the time. All the time. It's only when we get this aspect of it that we know it. A people who are oppressed can only make history by fighting for their freedom. A people who are oppressed can only make history by fighting against their oppressor. Anytime you fight with the oppressor, you're making the history of the oppressor and rendering yourself weaker. We said you have to fight capitalism everywhere. In the movies, with Cleopatra on the television, even in commercials. I mean, the capitalist system doesn't lie some of the time. It lies all of the time. If you don't fight commercials, you can end up in Arabia, Saudi Arabia, on a desert because you want to be all you can be.